All right, so Valve finally went ahead and updated the Stage 2 side of the pick'em, so we can go ahead and get started. And no, I did not make it through Stage 1, unfortunately. Let me know how you guys did in the comments, but that was pretty tough. I don't think I had too controversial of picks here. I just think with best of ones involved and a few disappointing 3-0 picks, yeah, it just didn't work out. So let's go ahead and move on to Stage 2 and talk about why I think this one is even more cooked than the last one. As always, I've made a little tier list, but at this point, it's just tough. I think Aurora and Na'Vi definitely stand out as the best teams here at this stage. But, I mean, Navi's results have been pretty inconsistent. Aurora just had a really good result, beating a lot of the teams at this stage at PGL Bucharest. So if I had to put someone in S tier, it would be Aurora, but I'm still not fully confident in them just being a lock for 3-0. Liquid, on paper, should be better than a lot of the teams here, but I don't think they've really done anything that would make me confident in saying they're better than FlyQuest and M80, just based on recent results. I think M80 and FlyQuest proved that they definitely belong to be here, going 3-0 like that, but really, we'll look at the matchups, and I'll show you why I'm a little hesitant about that. Astralis is another team that on paper should be doing well, but who knows? 3D Max, they haven't looked great, so I've got them a little bit further down. And then we've, of course, got Perivision and Bait and NIP. I think these three teams are pretty much on the same page. I don't see much of a difference between these guys. And then FaZe, the way they played, they don't belong to be anywhere else but D tier, although it is FaZe, so I could still see them slipping through. And if we're being honest on paper, these guys should be above, I would say, Perivision, Bait, and NIP. It's just hard to say. I think they played terrible. They belong in D tier, but FaZe generally power up the longer they're in an event, and counting them out is pretty crazy. Passion UA have not impressed me. Tyloo looked great at the start of the season, but have just really fell off a cliff. I mean, they have not been great as of late, so I'm not going to pick them to go through. I think Fnatic had a cakewalk to go 3-1 in this last stage, and I don't think they're anywhere near as good as some people are probably making them out to be. And then, of course, we have MIBR, who I think have looked pretty bad anywhere else outside of Brazil. And then I think Imperial are definitely the worst team here. So with that being said, let's look at the lineups and talk about why this is completely cooked. So right now I'm on the HLTV simulator because I want to show you guys one thing. Aurora is playing against M80, Na'Vi is playing against FlyQuest. That makes these picks pretty tough. It's because it's seeded based off of VRS going into the event, not based off the results of the previous stage. So you have basically the best two teams from stage 1 going up against the highest seeded teams. That is a tough draw for pretty much everyone here, which is why maybe I'm not as confident in both of these teams making it through and not as confident in picking these guys as 3-0. That's pretty tough. I think Liquid have a good I think they have a good chance to beat Bait. 3D Max should be beating Fnatic here, but the rest of these very much feel like 50-50 duels. I'm not very confident in Astralis versus NIP. I'm not confident in Perivision versus Tyloo. MIBR versus Imperial, I think these are two of the worst teams here. It's a Brazilian derby. They've recently played in a best of 5 where it went 5 maps. This could be anyone's game. I'm still going to pick MIBR to win it. And then FaZe versus Passion, you would think FaZe would win, but their T side is non-existent. So I just wanted to point out, these are mostly 50-50s. I'm not confident in a single pick here in round 1 of the major. Now, before I show my actual picks, I want to thank today's sponsor, SkinsMonkey. For those of you that don't know, SkinsMonkey is an automated CS2 trading site that allows you to select the old skins you don't want anymore and pick out some new ones from the monkey. It's a great way to freshen up that old dusty inventory, and hey, that's not all. They have some amazing filter and selection features, as well as 24/7 live support. If you click the link in the description, you can get a free $5 and a 30% deposit bonus that becomes 35% if you use my code TACTICS on the site. Don't miss out on this offer and check out SkinsMonkey today. Let's get back into the video. Now, if there weren't best of ones, I think Aurora and Na'Vi would be the easiest 3-0 picks so far. However, since there's best of ones, who knows? They may drop to M80 or FlyQuest, and hey, since my Diamond Coin dreams are already gone, I'm going to say both of these guys are also going through just because I like those teams and I want them to succeed. I also like Liquid. I think they're a strong team. I think they could do it. 3D Max haven't impressed me as of late, but I still think they should be able to make it through. Tyloo, not a 0-3 pick, in my opinion, but we'll see. Astralis, you know what? I'm going to say they're going to make it through barely. And then that it really comes down to me between NIP, Perivision, FaZe, and Bait. I think I'm just going to throw FaZe on here. As crazy as that is, I feel okay about FaZe still making it through, especially once they get into the best of 3s. Definitely not a 3-0 choice, and definitely not an 0-3. And that leaves, I think, Imperial in the 0-3, and I'm going to go with Fnatic. I think they had a pretty easy walk to go 3-1, and I think they're going to be surprised here in this stage. These are my picks. Honestly, if you know nothing about Counter-Strike, just pick the pretty logos. Don't listen to me because it's so random with the best of ones. Who knows what's going to happen? But anyways, guys, that's what I've got. Let me know if you agree or disagree down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.